One of my favorite videos to watch on YouTube are the playthroughs people make of them achieving perfection in Stardew Valley. However, if I were to make one of those videos going over my day-to-day in-game, I feel like I wouldn't be adding anything new. And besides, there were many questions that I kept having in regards to some of the stuff that was occurring in these playthroughs. Questions like, how many fish are actually required to be caught to reach level 10? How many days in a month on average are spent in the mines? How close to perfection am I at the end of each month? So, with my attempt to reach perfection in Stardew Valley, I want to break down some numbers month by month to show exactly what it takes to truly perfect Stardew Valley. To go over some basic setup, this video will be documenting month 1 of what was required for perfection. I chose the Meadowlands farm for this playthrough for a few reasons, with the main reason being an immediate start to passive income, thanks to the chickens laying eggs starting on day 3. Once I unlock the Mayo machine, these eggs will be able to generate about an extra $200 a day, and in the early game, that can go very far, as money in the early game tends to be compounding. And instead of going through my playthrough in the form of days, instead I'm just going to be sharing some general highlights as to how I spent the month. So, with all of that said, Spring Year 1 is really all about trying to get as much access to as many resources as possible in order to give myself the best setup for future seasons. So while the first month in general wasn't too crazy or out of the ordinary from probably your playthrough, what I'm thinking about might be slightly different. So, with all of that said, what did my month look like? Well, the answer was busy. The first month, I spent a total of 9 days primarily fishing, equating to about 32% of the month spent fishing. Day 2, Day 3, Day 4, Day 8, Day 10, Day 15, Day 22, Day 26, and Day 27 were all mostly spent fishing. During the time that I spent fishing over the course of the month, I managed to catch 169 fish total. This means every day I fished, I averaged catching about 18 fish per day. While fishing this first month, I also caught 4 sea jellies, 5 river jellies, 8 seaweed, and 36 algae. And no, I was not tracking trash, but if this video gets 100 likes, I will start tracking trash. But running the numbers with what I did track, jellies appeared about 4% of the time, a fish appeared about 76% of the time, and the seaweed algae appeared about 20% of the time. I tried looking on the Stardew Valley wiki to see if I could find numbers for what the game says these spawns should be, but I couldn't find what I was looking for. But if someone knows, I would love to see that commented below. And finally, because of all the fishing I did, I ended spring with a fishing skill of level 7. Day 5, Day 9, Day 11, Day 16, Day 17, Day 19, Day 20, Day 23, and Day 25 were all spent in the mines. By the end of Spring 1, I had made it to level 95 in the mines. And yes, looking back, I'm a little sad I didn't actually try for level 100, but it gives me something to look forward to for summer. However, thanks to all the mining I did over spring, I was able to get enough ore to level up my watering can and axe both to copper. I was also able to turn my pickaxe into an iron pickaxe. In addition, I was able to create 28 sprinklers, each being able to water 4 crops, allowing for up to 112 crops to be auto-watered starting day 1 of summer. And thanks to the amount of time in the mines, I was able to achieve one of the monster slaying quests, completing the bug slaying quest. I ended spring with a mining level of 6 and a combat level of 5. The remainder of the days of the month were spent doing kind of random stuff. Day 1, Day 12, and Day 28 were all spent mostly prepping the farm for either new crops or kind of just general landscaping, chopping down trees, etc. Day 6 and Day 21 had a focus on mostly getting bundles in the community center done, and Days 7, Day 14, Day 18, and Day 21 were spent mostly alternating between Clint's smithy and the museum. Because of these miscellaneous days in the month, I was able to donate 26 out of 53 minerals, equaling about 49%. I was also able to donate 8 out of 42 artifacts, equaling about 19%, for a total museum completion of about 36%. I was able to complete one of the community center bundles, unlocking the minecarts, which gave me a community center completion of 1 out of 6, or 16%. Because of all of these activities, I ended spring with a farming level of 5 and a foraging level of 5 as well. And now, I have some other random things that didn't really fit into any categories that I mentioned before, so I'm going to throw them into this. During the month, I asked Robin to build a well, so I ended spring with 2 farm buildings, a well and a coop. I bought 2 more chickens from Marnie on the 21st, so I ended spring with 4 chickens as well. It also only rained 2 days for the month of spring, the default 3rd of spring, and on the 27th of spring. Because I didn't put too much emphasis on farming this month, I did not really feel the lack of rain too bad. However, had I put more emphasis on farming this season, that lack of rain probably would have stung. Also, I had the crop fairy appear on the 3 strawberry plants that I ended up ignoring, which ended up being very funny to me when that happened, but I also got a couple of extra strawberries. And finally, I ended the season with just over 18,800 gold in pocket and a total earnings of just under 50,000. So, those are the stats from spring year 1 on the mission to perfection. The goals for summer are intense, but spring should have set me up for them pretty well. The goals for summer are as follows: earn 1 million gold, build a barn and upgrade it, upgrade my coop, get a gold pickaxe and gold axe, get all of my skills to level 9, and have at least 3 hearts with at least 5 villagers. Summer will be busy, but doable. If you are interested in seeing the numbers and how they change month to month, please click that subscribe button. And if this video gets 100 likes, I will start adding trash to my stats that I start tracking. And lastly, maybe I didn't mention a stat that you thought I was going to include. Feel free to comment that below, and I can add it to the stats that I'm tracking as well. Till next time, stay safe and have fun farming.